Good afternoon and welcome to the Ostersund Arena here in the heart of Sweden on day number 2 of the World Para Ice Hockey Paralympic Winter Games Qualification Tournament. This is game 2. It's Slovakia against Germany, two sides in search of their first wins of this competition. Of course, we are here this week to find out which 3 teams will be joining Canada, the United States, the Republic of Korea, Norway and Italy at next year's Winter Paralympic Games in PyeongChang. The Germans first to come out onto the ice. They suffered a 6-2 defeat yesterday at the hands of Japan. They were very unfortunate, didn't quite get the rub of the green in important stages of the game, epitomised by the own goal scored early in the second period by Ingo Launstein. Bastisveld did manage to get on target for Germany in that game, as did Felix Schrader, but it wasn't enough to deny a rampant Japan their first win of the tournament, which they managed to advance further on today as well with a 3-2 victory over the host nation, Sweden. As for Slovakia, they lost yesterday as well by 5-0 in the curtain raiser of this week's tournament against Czech Republic, who certainly seem to be the team to beat in this competition. The Czech Republic are enjoying a day off today before they are back in action tomorrow. And Slovakia will be looking to catch Germany cold after their defeat to Japan yesterday. But of course, Germany will have the exact same mindset as well. So this could be a game that determines which one of those two teams will miss out on qualification for next year's games. It is a must-win. The German huddle there looking very strong and tightly knit indeed. The same has to be said for the Slovakians as well at the other end of the ice. A big 45 minutes ahead here in Ostersund. Slovakia against Germany. Both winless after day 1, but one of them will reign supreme on day 2. Which one will it be? Both sets of starting rosters beginning to make their way onto their respective blue lines. The Germans are already there, ready and anticipating puck drop here. The Slovakians just getting themselves in position as well. Both captains for both teams will come across to the near side and meet the officials for today's game as well. Captain for Germany, Bastisveld, who, as I mentioned, got the goal yesterday, the first of the 2 German goals against Japan. He was born in the Netherlands, became a German citizen in 2001 and has represented his nation at the highest level. As for Slovakia, their captain is Peter Stitt, the number 10. He's 43 years old and he's one of the pioneers of the Slovakian programme. After starting out in the Czech Republic, he came over to Slovakia and has enhanced the Slovakian programme ever since in the world of para ice hockey. If you are watching para ice hockey for the first time, or it might be your 100th time watching this sport, a very good afternoon to you wherever you're watching around the world. Do make sure you get in contact with us. At Para Ice Hockey is our Twitter handle and the hashtag is Ostersund 2017. We welcome your involvement and we hope that you'll be watching here a game, even if it's just half exciting as the one we had earlier, because it really has set a high benchmark for this game this afternoon, as Sweden lost out by the odd goal in 5 against a very good-looking Japan team. Just a problem at the moment with the bench on the far side and the gateway from the bench onto the ice, making sure it's firmly shut. The referee's happy that is the case now, and we are good to go here. Launstein in the centre with Stashak, and this game is underway in a pivotal contest for both of these proud European nations. Of course, 2 European sides already in next year's Paralympic Games. Italy and Norway, and Slovakia early on in this match are trying to instigate a bit of needle in the match, with some thunderous contacts being made in the German zone of the ice. Clearly Launstein trying to get one back on Stasak. And now Schrader comes away with it. He's got Cooley Launstein ahead of him. Schrader may go alone here. Real chance. And what a start for Germany. A start that only they could have dreamed of coming into this game. And it is Felix Schrader who doubles his tally for this tournament with a goal inside the first 50 seconds of the match. And Eduard Lapacek could not get a sniff of it as it flew above his flailing gloves and into the roof of his net. Germany drawing first blood here in this must-win clash. It's Germany 1, Slovakia 0. Well, how big a goal could that be? Extremely early stages of the contest. But Germany could not have wished to have got off to a better start than that. As for Slovakia, nightmarish to say the least. It'll be all about now how they respond. Of course, the Czech Republic managed to get at them quickly yesterday and got a couple of early goals. Slovakia couldn't respond. Forsik's trying to change that here. The effort is parried by Brzoska, who is a changing goal for Germany. Yesterday it was Simon Kuntz, who certainly took quite a few bumps and bruises from the Japanese players. He's rested today, and Brzoska is in goal. And he manages to stave off that wave of pressure from Slovakia, but it is a face-off inside German territory. But wonderful stuff for Germany, who had such a disappointing World Championships earlier on this year in Gangneung. And they have missed out on the last two Paralympic Winter Games as well. Here, in order to gain retribution. And they could not have got off to a better start than Felix Schrader's early strike after 49 seconds. Good feel about this contest though. It's been played at a very strong pace. Cooley Launstein surging to get onto that loose puck. He means business. Trying to atone for his own goal yesterday, which I'm sure must have kept him awake for much of the night. Seems to have put it behind him though, as does the whole of the German team. Here's Sklorz. Dumps it into the corner, asking a few questions of the Slovakian backline, trying to test whether or not they are truly rattled after their early concession. Ligda tries to poke it centrally. Pilz completely misses it. And a brief flurry forward now for Slovakia. That breaks down. Segref is back, and he puts the lid on things. This is Stitt. Nice pass inside. A good contact coming in as well. However, the referee wasn't fond of it, and it will be the first penalty of the game. And it is to be given towards Christian Pilz. Just awaiting the signal from the referee as to what the offence was. I have a suspicion that was teeing. And the referee you can see in the centre there with the orange armbands on. Indeed signifies teeing. And of course teeing is an offence completely unique to this form of hockey. It's where the sledge goes into the side of an opponent. Pilz the guilty party on that occasion, and so he will sit out the next 2 minutes. And Slovakia have themselves a very handy power play. It's a bit of a gift for Slovakia to try and find an avenue back into the contest. Disveld gets to it, does really well Disveld, big chance, and the angle wasn't great. The power on the shot wasn't sufficient either, but still Lepacek just had to keep hold of it and make sure it didn't foil out of his crease. So face off in the Slovakian defensive zone. Of course, Germany will be happy that the puck is at this end of the ice. However, they have to be wary not to commit too far forward because they are a man short. Pass forward there was from Forstik, and a bit too far in front of Ligda. So Germany can just knock it forward momentarily. Vedder just throws his stick onto the end of that one, and just nudges it a few metres further back towards the Slovakian goal line. Forstik on the wrong wavelength there with Stasak, and that has opened the door up for Disveld to try and make progress. Tries to clip it back into the centre, hits the side netting, and it's loose, and it's put home, is it? Yes, it certainly is. Vedder has got there on the rebound, and Germany have doubled their lead in the first 3.5 minutes of this contest. A dreamy start for them. Great persistence from Disveld. Lepacek just couldn't get a glove on it, and Vedder gobbled up the loose puck with the outside of the right blade. And Germany, despite the fact they were a man down there, have managed to not let that faze them at all. They are 2 goals ahead. And Jörg Vedder, with all that experience after playing in 4 World Championships for Germany, has managed to show exactly what to do when knocking around the goalkeeper's crease. Great finish from Vedder. 2-0 to Germany. Big credit for Bas Disveld there, who did not let up. Persistence was key, and all Vedder had to do was just make sure his radar was firing. He was clinical from close range. Bit of a tussle going on here. You can see the man just laying on the floor there, Skullet's trying to just prod it away. It kills time, however. 20 seconds left of the Slovakian power play. And if you ever want to know in power ice hockey how to kill a penalty, then just watch this German performance over the last couple of minutes. They've been excellent, and if anything, it looks as if Slovakia are the team with a man down. Pilz has the gate open for him now, and you'll see him entering the bottom of your screen. Immediately defensive work for him to do. Yasta calming things at the back. And the linesman has called for an offside there against Slovakia. So play brought all the way to the other end of the ice. Of course, before this game, I was entertaining the idea that this match would not be anywhere near as intriguing as the one before it between Sweden and Japan. That was one hell of a game, but there were no goals in the first period in that one. Most of it was done in the second half of the contest. But here, Germany off to a flyer, 2-0 ahead, and it makes this game fascinating indeed, because Slovakia have now got to just come out of their shell. They must get one back much sooner rather than later. Vedder, the goal scorer of the second. He's got room for another shot on goal, this time a bit further out, well parried by Lepacek. Yasta might have a crack now as well, but well charged down at the first attempt. There's coming forward now, Forstik trying to surpass Vedder. Yasta again, the furthest outfield player back for Germany. Germany quick across the ice. They've got a new incentive, and of course it is a team that has been revamped, if you like, since the 7th place finish at the World Championships earlier this year. And they began to ease out the older players on the German roster and introduce some of the younger players to begin this transition into the new generation of German para ice hockey players. A loose puck here is picked up, but quickly lost. And Slovakia just need to get a grip on this contest now. They are on a bit of a rocky wave at the moment. Vedder, high across the glass on the near side. It's met by Kardosh, but Elmer Just squirms it out towards the far side. Riedler missed it at the first attempt, gets it at the second. The arm is raised by the linesman to indicate a couple of German players are across the blue line and offside, so they allow Slovakia to take control of the puck once again, but they don't do much with it. Andreas Pokori's game plan has been excellently executed so far. Although I don't know if there was anything on the game plan saying, yeah, let's be 2-0 up after 5 minutes, because even the most optimistic German couldn't have foreseen that. Riedler, sniffed out by Večerek, who read that clearance very well. Just to play the reverse pass, but Gagirli is forced back to the blue line, just kept forward by Ferencik. With Launstein back on defensive duty, he only finds Joppa, and inside it goes, and there's a chance here, but not a clean connection from Stasak, who just trickles the puck through to Schreider. Wonderful stick handling from him, but possession conceded, and Joppa licking his lips. He's denied in his tracks by Sklort, still has possession, threads it through for Stasek, bit of a tight angle, couldn't really wrap his blade around it, and it was saved by Broska, couldn't keep hold of it. But fortuitously for him, Slovakia couldn't keep it alive in the attacking zone. Ferencik away. Slovakia with their tails up a bit now, but Joppa gives possession straight for Strider. Didsveld's on the overlap. Got a couple of white shirts up there with him. Slovakia with 4 back, but Didsveld too quick for them. Just bides his time a bit by arcing round the net. And he's forced back to the blue line here, just toying with the Slovakian backline. Does really well despite the pressure behind him and Fojtik to keep possession. And then it's slammed into the crease. And across the face it goes. No one in German white and black getting close to the receiving end of the puck. Penalty has been awarded, and it's for interference, and that is going to go against Jörg Vedder, who looks pretty stunned by that call from the referee, and he's taken his time to come off, but just see him coming off the bottom of your screen there, not happy at all with that call. The assistant captain of the German national team, but indeed the referee very confident there that interference was occurring. Slovakia have a second power play, but of course on the last one they conceded. Have to be a lot wiser this time around. No messing about from Riedler, who ships it away.
2 minutes interference, time 7.
Fojtik just finds a little window of opportunity to slide it through for Ligda, but he's dispossessed by Riedler. And the linesman has made a call for offside against Germany there. He was trying to let the game go, but Slovakia didn't have much of an advantage, so they'll be propelled forwards from their defensive zone all the way up into the offensive third of the rink. 90 seconds remaining of this Slovakia power play. Klaus Broska in the German goal, yet to really be tested. Ferencik again loses out, but Zegrev lost track of the puck. Joppa certainly didn't. There's not much room in the centre at all, though, for Slovakia to work things. There's room on the side for Joppa, though. A penalty is being called, and it has gone against Slovakia for teeing. And this time around, it's Marian Ligda. What a disastrous spell for Slovakia, who on their first power play conceded to Jörg Vedder, and on the second power play they give Germany a power play for themselves. Marian Ligda the guilty party. And off we catapult to Slovakia territory. Four apiece then, for 1 minute 15 longer, and that is when Vedder will be back, and then it'll be Germany with a player advantage. Rested as well, just flicks it away with the outside of the right blade. Of course, if you are new to para ice hockey, you will certainly notice not just the fact that the players are sat down in sledges, of course. You have to be the most eagle-eyed person to notice that, but the two sticks as well, they're 1 metre in height, and at one end there are spikes to propel yourself forward like skis, and then you've got the blades at the bottom as well, and Stradler making good use of them there with wonderful stick handling. However, he is now offside as it's played forward. Didn't make contact with the puck, however. But of course, with the two sticks, it enables ambidextrous stick handling, and there is room under the sledges as well to sort of go underneath and toy with possession there. And it is very difficult to be dispossessed. And if you do have any questions about the equipment used by these para-athletes, or any further questions about the sport as a whole, or even just this qualification tournament, do get in touch. At Para Ice Hockey is the Twitter handle, and the hashtag you want to use is Ostersund 2017. Večerek calming things down just about, but Seagraf is trying to disturb in his track. Succeeds as well, and Seagraf's got room. Real chance for three. Squares it across, and it could not be put out by Disveld. Just couldn't quite get his bearings right. Maybe should have gone with the right stick instead of the left, because the angle didn't really favour the left-bladed effort. But that was a really good chance, that, for Germany. Disveld going from much further out that time around, as both teams are now at full strength. So Vedder on, as is Ligda. We're back at 5 apiece. They may be even in terms of personnel, but Germany are leading on the goal-scoring front. 2-0, goals from Schrader and Vedder is what separates these two European outfits. Goska came a long way out of his crease there to try and meet that one. He was fortuitous in the fact that Reidler could help him out and spare his blushes, so Slovakia get onto the loose puck. Vedder has it. He's got a man inside. Will he use him? Yes, he will, but well intercepted by Lepacek. I just feel there that Vedder may have held onto the puck a wee bit too long. And the opportunity to fire it across without Lepacek's presence being there. As Ligda frustratingly is offside by a matter of centimetres. Well, the upbeat tune's been played on the tannoy, certainly music to German ears and representative of how buoyant they are at the moment. But Slovakia far from on song with 2.5 minutes remaining of this first period. Stasak trying to change things, but he's surrounded by white. And Schrader finds Kui Lauenstein. Germany looking ever so dangerous on the break in the last couple of minutes. But that attack is foiled. Joppa immediately known about the presence of Pilz. Stasak, he's got Ligda with him. Stasak forced into the effort because Schrader was sniffing behind him and threatening to dispossess him. The effort was fired. Broska, though, very casual with that left glove. just clutching it towards his chest and conceding the face-off. Good all-round performance so far from Germany. Exactly what the doctor ordered. But Slovakia coach Radoslav Bilecka, who turned 43 last month, will be really thinking about his team talk here. And there's a clash in the crease, which the officials immediately get to the bottom of. Of course, Simon Kunst in the German goal yesterday was on the receiving end of quite a few heavy collisions with the opposing Japanese forwards, and Kunst's replacement Klaus Broska receiving almost the same treatment there. And the man on your screen, just pleading his innocence, is Miroslav Kardoš. And he's just been given a word or two by the referee. Sensible officiating from him. And in fact, it was Joppa who was having the word with the official, but nonetheless, we're back underway. Maswin wasn't happy with the face-off there, so he'll order a retake, and a new duo will do battle in the face-off circle. Disveld ordered away, so Forstik just waiting for the next contender, who will be Jörg Vedder. As we are into the final 2 minutes of a super first period, relentless stuff. But Slovakia will wish that they could go back and do it all over again, because Germany have meant serious business in the early exchanges. Reidler just lets that puck try and go around the side of him very casually indeed. Vedder is then thumped from behind by Večerek on the far side under the German bench. Andreas Pekoni, the coach, bursting out instructions. Brodsky almost lost possession of the puck there. He's just managed to keep on the end of it. In fact, I was getting confused. If you look at the replay, there's a man just in front of him, and Brodsky saves it. And I almost confused that little bit of black there just outside of his right glove as the puck. And I was beginning to think that Forstik was going to gobble it up. However, that was the end of his stick. And Broska actually had good control of the puck completely. But Slovakia keeping the territorial advantage for now. Germany trying to force them out, and they've done so. Kuli Launstein does really well, and again, you've strengthened numbers with Germany. They're getting players all over the ice and winning it whenever it's loose in the centre. Although Segrev gifting possession immediately back for Večerek as we go into the final minute of the first period. Slovakia just need to get a grip on things here. Legda, can he initiate a wave of pressure? Aims it towards the near side. He's appealing to his defensemen and asking them where they were there, if there was space to be worked with, but Schreider is actually the one that benefits. Segrev squeezing it through. Kuli Launstein, can he buy a yard or two? The answer is no. Good last-ditch defending from Slovakia. Didn't make it look pretty, but they did the job. Staszak, who's now getting into a bit of a tangle with Jasta, for switching it to Stitt, the captain. Pilz repels that well. But Večerek, dominative in the challenge once again. Jasta comes across and he flies in as well. But that will end the first period, and a very entertaining first period indeed. But if you are of a Slovakian persuasion, then you'd be left scratching your heads as to how unbelievably quickly the game has got away from you. Germany leading by 2-0. Goals from Felix Schrader getting the show on the road after 50 seconds with a thunderbolt that drove past Eduard Lepacek and high into the Slovakian goal. That lead was then doubled on the Slovakian power play as well, as Jörg Vedder tapped home on the rebound after super work from Bas Disveld, who managed to just squeeze across the puck into the path of Vedder, who was waiting in the crease. And that means that after the first period here, it is Germany leading at the Ostersund Arena by 2-0 against Slovakia. Make sure you're back in around 10 minutes' time for the start of the second period. Can Slovakia pull this one back? We'll wait and find out.
On Stasak.
On Stasak. And now Schrader comes away with it. He's got Cooley lines down ahead of him. Schrader may go alone here. Real chance. Oh, what a stop. Now Schrader comes away with it. He's got Cooley lines down ahead of him. Schrader may go alone here. Real chance. Oh. Gets to it. Does really well, Disveld. Big chance. And the angle were up for Disveld to try and make progress. Tries to clip it back into the centre, hits the side netting, and it's loose, and it's put home, is it? Clip it back into the centre, hits the side netting, and it's loose, and it's put home, is it? Still has possession, throws it through for Stasek, bit of a tight angle, couldn't really wrap it. His track succeeds as well, and Segra's got room, real chance for three, squares it across, and it could not. He's got a man inside, will he use him? Yes, he will, but well intercept Stasak. He's got Ligda with him. Stasak forced into the effort on the far side under the German bench. Andreas Peconi, the coach, bursting out instructions. Brodsky. Welcome back to the Ostersund Arena for the second period of the second game of day 2 between Slovakia and Germany here at the World Para Ice Hockey Paralympic Winter Games Qualification Tournament. And Germany absolutely providing what has been necessary here for them in what is a must-win game. Both sides coming into today's match on the back of defeats yesterday, and pretty heavy defeats as well. Slovakia losing 5-0 against the Czech Republic, and Germany being disposed of by Japan by 6-2. But it is Germany getting 2 goals again in the first period. Felix Schrader getting them off to a flyer after 49 seconds, and Jörg Vedder doubled Andreas Pokorny's side lead not too long after at all, and that was on a Slovakian power play, and it sort of sums up their first period as well. Slovakia certainly with Lady Luck not on their side, but they did get better as the first period wore on, and they are back out with a new lease of life for the second period of 15 minutes. Which way will the balance tip towards in this next set of 15 minutes? Both teams do play tomorrow as well. Sweden against Slovakia is the first game tomorrow, followed by Germany against the Czech Republic. And as you can see there, the Slovakian bench just having a bit of TLC as the ice is trying to be put to a level where the gate can shut firmly and then be reopened. Of course, that is the gateway for the Slovakian players to get back onto the ice. And if that doesn't open and close properly, then changes are going to be hard to be made. Also on the German bench as well, you can see the number 94 shirt there, and that is team manager Ian Wood, who unfortunately cannot be here with the German side here in Ostersund due to ill health. And of course the German team wishing him well with that gesture there, with the 94 jersey draped over the glass on the far side. Of course we wish him well in his recovery. But a bit of an ongoing scenario on the Slovakian bench at the moment. The referee has gone across to try and make sure he is okay with the movement of the gate, but that spade is still out there scooping away the ice to try and clear the gateway for the Slovakian players. And this was a reason for a slight stoppage at the start of the first period, and an even bigger stoppage now at the start of the second. Hopefully it is an issue that could be ironed out now and not cause any more issues for the remainder of the contest. It seems like the ice rink maintenance man can slip away towards the near side, and he feels his job is done. The referee agrees as well. Both sets of players in the meantime have been keeping themselves as warm as possible on the ice by skating around and making sure their blades are in good condition. The thumbs up from the referee indicates we're good to go with the second period, and eventually we are off and underway. So what have Slovakia got in their locker to be able to propel themselves back in to this crucial match? It really is a case of whoever loses today is in a perilous position for the remainder of the week in order to secure a spot for PyeongChang 2018. Of course, that is why the 5 teams are here this week in Sweden. It's a wonderful venue, a wonderful town, but the biggest thing is whether or not it will provide wonderful consequences for those competing. Only 3 of the 5 will make it and join Canada, the reigning world champions, the Americans, Norway, Italy, and also the hosts for next year's games as well, the Republic of Korea. Gulli Laumstein gets goal side, coming across his Stitt, who manages to use his experience and his physical presence as well to get there on the first occasion. He's got work to do as well as Kuni Launstein battles for a second bite of the cherry. And Kardosh eventually can try and scramble it clear, but Germany are all over Slovakia inside the Slovakian zone at the moment. Slovakia being absolutely suffocated, really struggling to just get a grip of the puck and do something with it. And the first period for me showed the lack of cohesion within the Slovakian team, something that Germany knew all too well from their disappointing campaign at the World Championships earlier this year, but that is an issue that seems to have been addressed, and there is a good team bond, Germany gelling well. Slovakia, unfortunately for them, just aren't quite up to that level. But let's not forget, Slovakia are quite a recent programme in the world of para ice hockey, particularly compared to some of the other more established nations we do have here in Ostersund. The reason there's been a temporary stoppage in play, meanwhile, is there is an injury in the far right corner of the rink. Physio is on there to treat the injured party. Just trying to see who it is. But it looks as if a stretcher may be required. We've had our fair share of injuries over the course of this tournament so far. In fact, the player in question is Martin Joppa, who is back upright and he's skating off. And I think it's the left arm that's affected here. And the only reason I can speculate that is the fact that he's only using his right arm to propel himself forward off of the ice. And he's going straight into the corner and will be requiring medical treatment. You can see the physio, Zuzana Brzozowska of Slovakia, just aiding Joppa as he leaves the rink. Certainly have to be a hardy soul in order to succeed in the world of para ice hockey. And that is one thing that is so great about this sport. You do get para sports that maybe have its tendencies to drift away from its other more regular formats. However, with para ice hockey, it still has the intensity, it still has the pace, and it still requires that bit of nuance and quality to be able to be successful. And it's also for the viewer as well, quite a relatable sport. Just make you want to have a go yourself, to get in a sledge, to be given 2 sticks, and to really find out how difficult it is, because these athletes do deserve a lot of credit for how easy they can make the game look. Face off then in the German defensive zone. Disvelt in there. The task to beat Miroslav Staszak on this occasion. Staszak coming out on top. Gergely threw a right stick at it, but didn't make any real contact, and Disvelt will look to send it away with interest. Vedder loses track of the puck. Heavy collision on that far side there between Ferencik and Yasta as well. Disvelt, though, gets the loose puck in the real promising position. It drifts wide of the far post. Disvelt looking to add to the goal he got yesterday against Japan. Of course, he's got an assist in this game as well after his great work to tee up Vedder. Vedder is the man closing down Staszak here. He just flips it away towards the far side. Disvelt quick onto the scene to win possession, but couldn't quite bring it under his spell, which allows Fojic to reign supreme, but not really in an area that Slovakia wanted at the moment. Right against their own backboard. Fojic slowed to propel himself towards the puck. Elmer takes advantage. Looks for the square pass, but he knew as soon as he left that puck towards a central position that it was a poor effort, and he just slammed the stick on the ground with frustration there before the icing call that was made. But it's been a cagey start to this second period. Neither side really getting much joy in the opposition third, but that's exactly how Germany would want it. They've got their 2 goals. They can just solidify the contest now for the next few minutes and not allow Slovakia a route into the game, and one key feature of that will be not to concede any penalties as well. Second successive icing call against Slovakia. Let's not forget the number of penalties we did have in the first period. Wasn't a dirty game, very competitive, but of course the significance of the occasion can always get to players' heads, and they just have that little bit more adrenaline than they usually do, and therefore rash decisions do happen. Vectorek with a very, very forceful effort there. Just whipped towards Brzoska's goal, and that was a very powerful effort from the Slovakia number 45, Vectorek, who is one of the younger members of the Slovakian side, aged 22. And his youthful nature there really showing with that no-fear approach, and he just thought, why not have a go from here? And he wasn't too far away, and the good thing about that effort as well is it's pinned Germany back now for the first time in this second period. Not for long, however, as Disveld tries to guide the ball down the near side. The puck, should I say. And Germany just seem to have an extra man everywhere on the ice when they don't have possession of the puck. They are quick on to the Slovakian players. Tight bit of action going off on the near side, right in front of the technical area. Yasta backtracking. Vectorek right behind him. With a good play that to find Pilz. Nicely guided forward from him, but Slovakia a lot steelier defensively than they were in the first period, but they could be caught here by Disveld. Goes past Vectorek. He's got a man inside should he want him. Disveld went alone, and he was quite a way off ultimately. Pressure still on as Vedder puts it across. Well foiled at his near stick by Lepacek, but you can just see there that Disveld had good reason to go for an effort on goal, but he got underneath the puck and he went sailing over. Five minutes gone then of the second period. Nothing really noteworthy occurring yet, which is of stark contrast to the first set of 15 minutes, but nonetheless a lot of action going on, a lot of busy play, certainly competitive, as there is so much at stake. Slovakia need a goal. They could get one here. They are through. They have the chance, and it is put wide, but there is a penalty incoming, and it will be against Reidler, I think, who was back there to try and foil Joppa, and I think it's a teeing call that the referee perhaps it's not teeing, but it's, of course you can see a big collision there as Joppa, from a bit of an angle on the right side of the crease, just thought he could find a bit of an angle. Nonetheless, he didn't score, but Reidler was lured into the challenge and will be out of things for 2 minutes.
Penalty for Germany, number 6, Hugo Herder. 2 minutes, roughing.
So roughing the call. Gergely loses out to Vedder, and Vedder showing him a clean pair of skates, trying to get inside, and it's good physical presence from Staszak that foils him in his progress. Fostik. Slovakia, should I say, zipping across the ice, and an effort comes in from range, and it seemed to have Brzoska sprawling around there, slightly off balance. Still not away. Joppa putting it into a good area, but it just came all the way through for Vedder, who can gladly spray it out of German territory. Ferencik with time. Joppa, nice turn and switch pass towards the near side. It's a 50-50 that Ligda comes out on top. Has he got options inside of him? All he could see was two white shirts cannoning towards him, and one of them was Segrev, who gets it up the other end. Schreider trying to make inroads. He's got there first. Slovakia backtracking, and a good effort that from Schreider, who tried to curve around the posts and hit one with the right blade, all in the same motion. Germany short at the back though, as they commit the men forward, but a poor pass forward from Fostik means that Germany survive. It goes out for icing, and we can have a little bit of a breather. There are 17 seconds remaining of the Slovakia power play. Once again, Slovakia not making the most of it, but it's probably the best power play they've had so far in this game, because in the first period they conceded from the first power play to Jörg Vedder. On the second one, they then conceded a penalty themselves. And this time around, they've managed to go through unscathed in terms of goals and power plays as well. But that's completely insignificant if they fail to make the extra man count, and they haven't, because Reidler is back on. So it's 5-on-5 again, and Germany very much untroubled. Fostik took a bit from Disveld, and then the backboard as well. Vedder swung at one, missed it. Still Vedder tries to tap it and guide it towards the near post. It goes wide, but again momentum still with Germany. Slovakia very much under the German thumb at the moment, but now they can break away from it. Not once but twice. Jasta is there to intercept. Again, Slovakia pump it forward. Bit of hit and hope, but all it results in is icing once again. So we are over halfway through the second period, over halfway through this match. Of course, in this qualification tournament, it's a round-robin format, so there are no games after the 4 that each team will have. It's quite simply, at the end of this week, after 4 games for each team, who will be in the top 3? Now the answer to that will also be your Paralympic outfits for next year's Winter Games in PyeongChang. Germany really throwing their name into the ring with this performance after defeat yesterday. Joppa trying to ignite some life into the Slovakian ranks. It's a really good interception from Segrev, who's got room in front of him. Kuli Launstein just about stayed onside, and he has possession with 2 teammates up alongside him. He knocks it back for Reidler. But Slovakia have retreated well and defend that first phase, and Reidler can't keep it inside the offensive zone on the second phase. Kuli Launstein, lovely stick handling, and releases Segrev, who's got a man up alongside him. Segrev will go alone and find the bottom corner of the net, and Germany are 3 goals ahead with 5.5 minutes remaining of the second period. Jubilation in the German ranks, lovely approach play. Segrev timing his burst to perfection. He did have the option there of Torsten Elmer up alongside him, but all he did was just occupy Slavomir Ferencik. That paved open the window of opportunity for Segrev, who made no mistake by firing it past Eduard Lapacek. And surely now putting this game out of sight. Germany 3, Slovakia 0. Well, it's only day 2, but where do Slovakia go from here? Because they play tomorrow against Sweden. And if they fail to get a win from that, with one game left, surely it's their tournament up. You never know what's around the corner. But our Slovakian dreams of PyeongChang 2018 evaporating before their very eyes. Elmer up alone at the moment, crowded out by Stitt. Shot from distance, it's just about guided wide by Lepacek. That almost caught him out. Yasta, he decides to fire one in as well. It ricochets nicely back. Shot squirms through from Elmer, and Lepacek does get a firm glove on it this time around. Well, in such a tight game in this second period, it really is a hammer blow to Slovakia that Germany still could find a way of putting the puck into the net. And it seemed to me just like a lapse in concentration at the back. Yes, it was good play from Germany, but the fact that the Germans were 2-on-1 with Slavomir Ferencik, the only man back, it's very worrying indeed. It's a quick moment like that that separates you from the potential to break into the top 3, to having your chances heavily quashed. Legda. This defeat, it seems, for Slovakia, certainly not for the one that tried. They could pull one back here with Boštík. Well denied by Broska. And once again, the rub of the green not going the way of Slovakia. Boštík short of the hash mark there. And either corner to aim for, but could only find big Klaus Broska. A few changes made by both sides here as we count down into the final exchanges of this second period. The first one was entertaining and open. The second one has been far more intriguing. The first one was like a basketball game. The second period has been very much like a chess match. Disveld dumping it into the corner. Icing call as he was just short of the halfway line. And again, game beginning to turn scrappy, but Germany will not complain about that one bit. So as long as they're keeping the European opponents at bay, it doesn't really matter. Better forward, only finds Stitt, who just lumps it into German territory. Stasak to dummy his way past a couple of white shirts, but then can provide a finishing touch, and then a heavy clash off the puck between Večerek and Vedder. But meanwhile, Elmer at the other end, he's eyeing up a goal for himself. Didveld's inside of him. Very good defending from Stasak. Back to prodded away. Pilz. Germany looking to wrap this one up once and for all, if they haven't already. Reidler now. Goes past his opposite number, who was Rouse. And then it's a very ambitious effort from deep there from Sklorch that looped into the net above the glass, and you can see the additional official to the right of your screen. He had to duck out the way to make sure the puck didn't fly onto his head. Because unlike the on-ice officials, the one behind the glass isn't wearing a helmet. That would have been a very nasty bit of pain indeed. Play restarting in the neutral zone. Reidler, Segrev, both the Germans there managing to get possession back. Gergely picking up the rebounds and just firing it wherever possible. Did say yesterday after Germany's defeat to Japan that 6-2 seemed like a very harsh scoreline on the Germans. One of them an own goal, a couple of unfortuitous mistakes as well from the Germans that Japan managed to get the benefit of. Said that they shouldn't be discouraged from that game and demoralised coming into this one, and they certainly haven't been, aided by that wonderful start after 50 seconds. Penalty as well against Slovakia, roughing the call. And we're just seeing the replay of that. It's happened on the near side. You can see Joppa there has just thrown out the left glove towards the face of Hugo Segrev. Segrev didn't make a big meal of it, which is good. And Joppa roughing, which of course isn't good, but he'll be off for the next 2 minutes, and Germany will try and take the sting out of this matter. Slovakia with a lack of hope at the moment to try and get their way back into this one, but of course, when it's a score of 3, 1 goal could change the complexion. Icing against the Germans there. Of course, icing is not possible for the team down a player during a penalty, but if you're a man up, you can still be punished for it, as Germany were there. And usually with a penalty, the side with the man down, a bit more conservative to make sure they don't leave gaps at the back, but for Slovakia, they've just got to go for this, even if they are a player short. Sklorz, one of 3 Germans queuing up there for loose pickings, gets it away, but only for his Forstig. And if he'd managed to have found Ligda there, that would have been interesting, because he was free, but didn't land at his blade. And Germany cooling it down a wee bit. Toying with the Slovakians, trying to drag them out of their defensive shell. Forstig in a good position though to pick up and intercept. Didsveld tried to negotiate his way past Forstig, thwarted by him before the clearance was completed. Germany keeping the ball running. Didsveld. Gergely certainly made himself known there. Pass is long and should be received here by the German captain Didsveld. It's a tight battle between him and Ligda. There are 25 seconds remaining of the German power play and under a minute left of the second period as a whole. Reidler forced back towards the blue line, but does well to keep things alive by finding Segrev. Inventive from him to just curve it around the back and rebounds its way into Vedder, who scoops one in towards the clutches of Eduard Lapacek. No mistake from him, and that save also comes right on second 0 of the power play for Germany. So Joppa is back on, but I think Joppa's roughing foul there just signifies the frustration within the Slovakia team, because I'm pretty sure if this game was 0-0 or going Slovakia's way, he wouldn't have thrusted out the left fist. And it's bad enough when you're 3-0 down, but you can't afford ill-discipline to rub further salt into the very much gaping Slovakian wounds. Here's Peltz as the clock ticks down into its final seconds. Germany haven't been incredible on the puck in this second period, but they haven't had to be. A bit like the Czech Republic performance against Slovakia yesterday. The work so far mostly done in the first period with the 2 goals from Felix Schrader and Jörg Vedder. And in the third period, Hugo Segrev got in on the act to make it 3-0 to Germany. But apart from that, not too much has occurred. Slovakia with a bit of ill discipline beginning to spill over, something that their coach Radoslav Bieleka will have to keep a lid on. However, overall, it was a second period that either side really could have fared better from. Germany, one's getting the rub of the green thanks to that Segrev goal, and it means they go into the final 15 minutes in a very commanding position indeed. It's Germany 3, Slovakia 0. We'll be back in a few moments' time with the final period of today's second match of day 2. In the real promising position, and they usually do, and therefore rash decisions do happen. Vectorek with him here by Disveld, goes past Vectorek. He's got a man inside should he want him. Disveld need a goal. They could get one here. They are through. They have the chance, and it is convenient. The Slovakia, should I say, zipping across the ice, and an effort comes in from range, and Vedder swung at one, missed it. Still Vedder tries to tap it and got Kuli Launstein. Lovely stick handling and releases Segrev. He's got the man up alongside him. Segrev will go alone and find the Segrev. He's got the man up alongside him. Segrev will go alone and find that. He starts to find one in as well. It ricochets nicely back. It seems for Slovakia, certainly not for the one that try. They could pull one back here with Postic. Well done. Elmer at the other end. He's eyeing up a goal for himself. Didveld's inside of him. Welcome back for the final time today to the Ostersund Arena for period 3 of Slovakia against Germany. The final 15 minutes just moments away, and Germany well and truly in command. They lead by 3-0. 2 goals in the first period from Felix Schrader right at the start of the match. Jörg Vedder quickly followed suit during the Slovakia power play, and the third German goal coming midway through the second period, courtesy of Hugo Segrev. So a lot of work for Slovakia to do in what was a must-win game coming into this. And Slovakia do have a game tomorrow as well, 12 o'clock local time. They take on the host nation Sweden in another game that really will determine who will be going to PyeongChang 2018 and the Paralympic Winter Games. There seems to be a real spring in the German stride as they come out onto the ice ahead of this third period. And they've managed to channel the positive vibes they got yesterday from the game against Japan. Despite a 6-2 loss, they did compete very well indeed against a strong Japanese outfit. And they've just cranked it up a couple of notches today against the Slovakia team, who have conceded 8 goals in their first 1 2/3. So the officials just darting across the ice, getting ready for play to start. We're just a few seconds away here for the final period of Game 2 on Day 2 here at the World Para Ice Hockey Paralympic Winter Games qualification. Japan currently top the standings after 2 games with 2 wins. Czech Republic second after playing once, and they won that, of course, yesterday against Slovakia 5-0. Sweden losing out today marginally against Japan by 3-2, and they will be joined on 0 by Slovakia, it seems, unless a miracle occurs in the next 15 minutes. Segrev just trying to initially look as if he's going to put things to bed, but then had to drift back towards the blue line. Thankfully, Joppa, the number 25, is back on the ice. He seemed to have a problem with his sledge in the second period, and I thought his game was up as he had to depart away in the exit to the left of the screen in the corner, which usually is a sign that a player isn't going to return and that they require treatment. But Joppa back to fight on, which is the sort of character and spirit that Slovakia so desperately require. Kuli Launstein in a good position to pull it back. Good touch away from the goaltender for Slovakia, Lepacek. Vedder now in the exact same position. He's trying to make something happen, but this time a lot easier to deal with as far as Slovakia are concerned, as they scoop it along the perimeter of the rink on the far side, and a good bit of pace that from Ligda. Forces it up to the board with Pilz, and also joining them is Disveld, the German captain. It seems to be him that comes out on top before Večerek says, "Evening, mate," and it slams into Disveld. It's like Noah's Ark at the moment, these battles going off in twos, and then eventually it's pulled back into the centre. Not very well dealt with, almost put back into the mixer effectively by Kardosh, but he couldn't find a teammate in blue. And this game, a bit like it was in period 1, end to end. The second period was a lot cagier, but the opening 3 minutes or so of this third period indicates to me that this is a lot more expansive brand of para ice hockey that both teams are going out there and playing, which could work either way for both teams, because Slovakia need to push, they need a way back into this game, even if they aren't going to get a point from this one, at least reduce the goal difference. Germany do not want to be caught cold, yet would probably like to boost their goal difference a bit further after losing by 4 yesterday. So a bit of a paradox for both teams, but a welcome headache if you like, for Germany, who would have absolutely chewed your arm off for 3 points if you'd offered them it before the match. Staszak ordered out of that face-off there by the linesman. And Stitt will be in instead. Schreider, who picks it up. Večerek, who does not hold back at all, does he? Goodness knows how many bruises he's going to have after this game, but he does not care one iota. He's well prepared, just like the challenge there of Staszak, to put his body in where it hurts and really fight for possession of that puck. Germany just have that extra inch across the ice, where they just seem to react that little bit quicker. Sklorz misses it. Wadler back there to prevent anything untoward occurring in the German defensive zone. A good release as well, and here now it's Segref, the scorer of the third. Večerek again is canning his way towards the near side, and then the offside decision is given by the linesman. Always an awkward one when you're on the blue line. Segref there had possession, but was facing his own goal, so the puck was always going to go back towards the halfway line, but his body positioning was in the attacking third, and therefore he was offside. Not much he could have done to prevent that one. Bodstick trying to get into a bit of a race with Jasta, but the pursuit is won by the latter due to the fact that the icing call was given. So just to mark your card for tomorrow, we start off, as I say, 12 noon local time, which is 11 o'clock British summer time. Sweden up against Slovakia. It appears to be that both teams will go into that game winless after Sweden lost today against Japan 3-2, and Slovakia, after losing yesterday, seem to be on their way to adding another L on their tally. Germany against the Czech Republic follows at 3 o'clock local time, which is 2 o'clock British summer time. Czech Republic with one win from one, dominant against the Slovakians. Can Germany pose a tougher threat? Joppa, very inventive for Lig there, just rolled away from him, and then it's put across. Joppa trying to gobble it up, it's scrambling around. Broska can't get his bearings right. There's no Slovakian in the centre to hit it in, and Germany somehow get away with it. If there was just a man in the middle there for Slovakia, that would have been surely a goal for them to cheer. Joppa deflects as it squirms out towards the near side. Penalty coming, and it will be given, I think, against Elmer. And it's coming off to the near side. And so he comes into the penalty box. So we're just waiting for confirmation of exactly what that is, and the referee there grabbing his wrist signifies the infringement, and 2 minutes out now for Torsten Elmer. Could this be the moment Slovakia were waiting for? Germany again, immediately clearing it long. And indeed it is a holding call, so that's what the referee saw there from Elmer. Slovakia with a man advantage, and they have not used any of the 4 power plays they've had very wisely at all. Conceded from the first, gave Germany a power play on the second, on the third. Nothing went wrong, but nothing went right either. 4th time lucky perhaps this time around. They get a face-off in the attacking zone. Ligda waiting for an opponent, and Sigriff says it'll be him, and he wins it too easily. Far too easily. Got to win these 50-50 battles. Slovakia just aren't. Stitt slams it off his teammate. And look at this for a pursuit from Schrader. Forced out wide, but he'll shoot nonetheless, and it's a good challenge from PyeongChang back there for Slovakia. Joppa. Up with him at the moment is Ligda. Here he is now. Ligda trying to find Joppa again. Germany with strength in numbers. 40 seconds remaining of the penalty. Again, they are going to come out unscathed, you would suspect. Joppa not giving that one up. Can Ligda be quick enough to react? He'll leave it for Stitt. Smart decision as well. Stitt clashed into by Disveld. But they're after between them as well. And then Ligda goes for one that cannons up of Sklotz's helmet. PyeongChang. Now Joppa. Reidler showing him who's boss. But it's still possession with Slovakia, and it's off the post as well from an impossible angle. Fostik didn't let it phase him, and that is the last chance Slovakia will get on the power play. Roska beaten. But unfortunately for Slovakia, it couldn't find the back of the net. In fact, hit the frame of the goal instead. Joppa square. Oh, it's just behind Ligda. And if the phase of play could ever sum up Slovakia's first 2 days of competition, it would be the 30 seconds or so we've just had. Firstly, this effort here, lovely play from Fostik, who had it on the right blade, shifted it onto the left. And again, tenacity from him after the first effort, squeezed it under the left arm of Roska, but couldn't find the far corner. It hit the post. And then moments later, the pullback from Joppa almost found Ligda, but he just couldn't wrap his stick around it. 8 minutes of the game left. Slovakia surely encouraged by that. There'll be frustration. They couldn't start the game, as they seem to be finishing it. Disveld. Credit to Germany though, very much a workmanlike performance from them, shifting around the ice with great intensity and zip and so much purpose. It's like a brand new German outfit to the one we saw in Gangneung earlier in the year at the World Championships. Sklotz wriggles free of a couple of blue jerseys. He's got room and time to assess his options. He squeezes it into the side netting. The net bulged for a moment there, but the puck made contact with the wrong side of it as far as Sklotz is concerned. Večerek. Slammed into the corner. Rouse is there to withstand the attention of Elmer, and then Večerek gets in the back of them. And the puck doesn't seem to be moving on the near side, and of course very difficult to tell from our not so much vantage point here on the near side. That's exactly what's going on. Večerek again sprawled out on the ice. The referee's got his whistle next to his lips and then will pull it away because the puck is once again free. Disveld. Not exactly making friends there with Gergely. Almost got into the goaltender's crease, but Slovakia strong at the back. Veda spears it across the perimeter of the rink. Disveld on the other side will get there. Knocks it inside, good idea, but there's no one in white alongside him. Veda now up there for company. And he spins it in towards the path of Eduard Lepacek's goal, but easily gobbled up by the Slovakia number 18. Well, a very frenetic last couple of minutes there. Of course, Slovakia on the back end of their power play, looking threatening. But then Germany flipped the coin on its head and are well and truly in search of this fourth. No doubt about that with the way they've gone about the last few moments. Perhaps they feel like that there's time against Slovakia now with just under 6 minutes remaining, and therefore they can afford to push forward a little bit more than they have been to try and win. Forstig beats Jasta. Inside it goes, and that is a really good block by Seagrave, and then the ambitious shot comes in towards Broska's goal, which is well foiled. The effort there at courtesy of Slavomir Ferencik, 38-year-old from Tivozen. And Ligda now getting involved in the face-off. Again though, Germany reigns supreme, and it sets off an attack at the other end. Elmer trying to go at the end of it. He's got support with him. Couldn't quite find it. Vedder is sniffing around for a second of the game. But Slovakia with a blue wall back to kill off that German wave. Reidler trying to keep the momentum spinning. Forced back to their own goal line with Sklorts, but there's no real panic. Ferencik bumping into Disveld. And every time the Slovakians have the puck inside the German third, the Germans are just so quick to close down, and an offside call there against Stitt. Just saw that earlier foray forward by Germany, which nearly was rewarded with a goal. Well, Slovakia coach Radoslav Bilecka certainly cuts a much different figure to that of his colleague in the opposite dugout, the German coach Andreas Picorni. Radoslav Bilecka is stood at the moment with his hands in his pockets, looking on. Goodness knows what's going through his mind. He's got to make sure, though, he picks up his team ready for tomorrow's game against Sweden. What a massive match that's going to be. And I said today was a must-win game, but surely if they lose tomorrow against Sweden, then they are in an extremely perilous position, because they'll only have one game remaining after that. Stashik and Seagrave, the next to intertwine in the face-off circle. This time it's Slovakia coming out on top of it. And of course, as we get to this stage in the game, we begin to look towards who may get player of the game for each team afterwards. I think for the Germans it'd be very difficult to call, but someone who's caught my eye today is this man on the puck, Večerek for Slovakia. He is a forward-thinking player, but he hasn't quite had the breaks in front of goal. Nevertheless, he has put himself about quite superbly, and he'll have earned his sleep tonight. Both teams utilising the break in play there ahead of this face-off to change their personnel. Will there be any more action in this contest? Frustration for Slovakia, though, is their slow starts. Against the Czech Republic yesterday, the work was done by the Czech Republic in the first period, and the same has to be said for Germany today as well. They got their 2 goals early on, and they've never looked back. Slovakia cannot start games by giving themselves a mountain to climb and expect to be up in the top 3 positions come the end of this week. Disveld forward. Good chemistry between the Germans again. Elmar. This is sort of stick handling that we're used to from Elmar, and he comes in there towards the hash mark and tries to release one in towards the far corner. Easily parried by Lepacek, who got it at the second attempt, but you see how Elmar was coming forward there. A one-on-one battle with his opposite, number 66, Ferencik, who didn't really know You know, the German was going there. Joppa spinning around, trying to locate the puck. Who then, unfortuitously for him, finds it's a few yards in front of him. Trying to close down Schreider at the moment. Kudi Launstein at the near side, battling with Fujik. Kudi Launstein almost beating Fujik for pace there. Seagraf taking it ahead of Brodoska. Thunderous battles going off in that corner on the far side, and face-off ultimately called. And in fact the referee's coming across to the near side now, and has he indicated a penalty here? I think he may have, you know. Well, from my position, that seemed to come out of absolutely nothing, but of course the referee's got a far better view down there on the ice. So Hugo Seagraf, the scorer of the third German goal, will sit out the next 2 minutes. Wait for confirmation of why that was from the tannoy. Although, looking down at the man behind the mic now, he seems to have understood what the infringement was. So it sounds like it was delaying the progress of the game there, Seagraf. Pretty needless. Don't think if Slovakia scored now it would change things too much. May put a slight dent in the goal difference, but they may improve it. Disveld picks the pocket of the Slovakian defender, and it's well saved by Lepacek. Again, another Slovakian power play, just not going to plan. Reidler trying to find the bottom corner. Again, battered away by Lepacek, who shakes his head. He's meant to have an extra man in front of him than his opposite goaltender. But it doesn't appear to be the case, does it? Disveld, he slams one from distance, and well negotiated from Lepacek, who another contender for player of the match for Slovakia. Never really rubs off well on the offensive players, but he's made some important saves. Maybe called into action again now. Disveld trying to make room for the effort. Slovakia with everyone back, and now they will try and break away down the other end, but they'll be foiled by the referee's whistle. It's an icing call. 30 seconds left of the Slovakian power play, and we have just under a minute remaining of the match in total. As we're just waiting for a Slovakian to come into the mix. You wait for one, and then in come two at once. Eventually it'll be F for Martin Joppa against Kudi Launstein. Worries me a little bit that the Slovakians are not wanting to put themselves in for the face-offs. They have lost a lot, and his confidence low, maybe. Joppa bursting forwards. Well met by Jasta. Večerek almost picking that one up. He does eventually. Again, utilising the left and the right blade as Germany are propelled back up to full strength as Seagraf re-enters things. So into the final 30 seconds, can Slovakia notch their first goal of this tournament? Absolutely no question now that they will definitely not be getting their first point or two of the week. They will have to wait for tomorrow's game at noon against Sweden to try and achieve that feat. Defeat today for either team would have been pivotal, but defeat for Slovakia tomorrow against Sweden is surely lights out. Kuli Launstein bursting forwards. He would have done well to have got on the end of that one, but you can see even towards the last few seconds of the game, a player like Kuli Launstein using the upper body to propel himself forward with the sticks. Desperate for another goal for Germany. It's a good attitude. It's certainly an attitude that those of the German persuasion watching this will be happy of, and they'll be happy with the result as well. Job done for Germany in a game they couldn't really afford to lose. They have managed to beat Slovakia by 3-0. Most of the hard work done in the first period with early goals from Felix Strada and Jörg Vedder. And in the second period, Hugo Seegriff's goal managed to put the icing on the German cake. As for Slovakia, a lot of head scratching will be done after this. Once again, allowing the opposition into the game too early on. And they are tasked with beating the host nation tomorrow at 12 noon in order to keep themselves in contention of a potential spot for next year's Winter Paralympic Games. Two very different scenes on either side of your screen there. The Slovakians looking on pretty despairingly indeed, and the Germans can't stop giving each other a fist pump, a hug, a high five, as we are now hearing the players of the game. Eduard Lepacek is the one that has got it, and it's just a consolation for him. Doesn't look too pleased about it at all, but he's made some good saves at crucial times to make sure the score wasn't any worse than 3. However, coach Radoslav Beluchka will be hopeful that tomorrow against Sweden it will be a forward player getting player of the game. Although having said that, the player of the game for Germany is also the goaltender as well, and I think he was quite surprised by that, was Klaus Droska in today for his first start after replacing Simon Kunst, who played against Germany yesterday. Big smile on his face, a clean sheet for him as well. Mission accomplished from Andres Bakorni's side. They have their first win on the board. Tomorrow, however, they face the very formidable Czech Republic outfit. 2 belters on offer for tomorrow. For now though, the German national anthem, they reign supreme in this one. German anthem loud and proud then here in Ostersund in the heart of Sweden, and it is down to Sweden next. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, they lock horns with Slovakia, who now, after 2 defeats on the trot and without scoring a goal in either of the defeats to the Czech Republic and here today against Germany, have a lot of work to do. Germany will also be back in action tomorrow, a couple of hours later at 3 o'clock local time, against the Czech Republic. So a big thank you as ever for watching the live stream today. I'm sure if you are supporting Germany in this tournament this week, you'll be very happy right now. They are on top in this one then. Germany 3, Slovakia 0. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jonathan Bell, and I'll be back tomorrow from 12 o'clock local time, 11 o'clock British summer time. Sweden against Slovakia. Until then, goodbye.
Cross, Joppa trying to gobble it up, it's scrambling
Around, Broska can't get his bearings right. There's no Slovakian in the centre to hit it in. And look at this for a pursuit from Schrader, forced out wide, but he'll shoot on the less, and it's his held. But they're after between them as well, and then Ligda goes for one, who's boss, but it's still possession with Slovakia, and it's off the post. Wriggles free of a couple of blue jerseys. He's got room and time to assess his options. He squeezes, it goes, and that is a really good block by Seagrave, and then the ambitious shot. Elmer trying to get at the end of it. He's got support with him, couldn't quite find it. This is sort of stick handling that we're used to from they may improve it. Disvel picks the pocket of the Slovakian defence. Again, another Slovakian power play, just not going to plan.